All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we are going to talk about the Chargers and, their win over the Browns, and also just talk about them as a playoff team because right now that's kind of where they're at. They're in a playoff spot. They're one of the three wild card teams in the AFC. And going into the season, I gave them, 9 wins. I said 9-8. And, they could definitely right now. I mean, they do have some tough games coming up on the schedule, but that's a team that could definitely, finish with that record and be a playoff team. Um, I don't think I mean they're not catching the Chiefs, but right now you kind of look at the AFC and they're in a good spot. So and it looks like the offense is starting to look better. I mean now Justin Herbert these last couple weeks has really been airing it out, getting on the same page with his receivers. He's got 10 touchdowns to 1 interception this year. It's good. I mean you want to see the touchdowns go up, obviously, but yeah, I mean these last couple of weeks. Or these last few weeks rather. I mean, he played good against the Cardinals. They should have beaten the Cardinals. He had 349 yards passing against the Saints a couple weeks ago. He had 279 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and then last week or this past week, 282 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. The Chargers were all over the Browns in this game. Jameis had 3 picks. That defense was suffocating. They had 6 sacks on the day against Jameis Winston and the Browns offense. So, that defense is pretty good. But yeah, we'll kind of go through the game summary really quick. So the Chargers, they got on the board first. They went up 7-0. Herbert connected with Joshua Palmer on 3rd and 21, a 28-yard touchdown to make it 7-0. Browns answered with a field goal in the second quarter, but then they put together another touchdown drive, the Chargers. Justin Herbert connected with Quinn Johnston for a 66-yard touchdown. He's looking good in his sophomore season, now being one of the top receivers in this offense. Browns then punted. Then the Chargers put together another touchdown drive, a 16-yard rushing touchdown by J.K.Dobbins. So it was 20-3 at the half. There was no scoring in the third quarter. Pretty much no scoring in the fourth quarter until towards the end. The Chargers scored another touchdown, another J.K. Dobbins touchdown from 7 yards out. The Browns did put together a touchdown drive at the very end. Jameis connected with Cedric Tillman. And yeah, so the final score is 27-10. But you gotta like what the Chargers are doing right now. Last year, their defense was not good. And then they dealt with a lot of injuries, and their season pretty much got derailed. And also, Brandon Staley was not a good head coach. But now you bring in Jim Harbaugh, and he's already changing the culture there. And this team is only going to get better, as we move along here in the Harbaugh era. They got the quarterback. They got some, young weapons there. McConkey's had a good year. Quinn Johnston, again, like I said, his second year has been good when he's played, because I know he's been banged up a little bit. The defense, I mean, that has made a big difference. All the games that they lost, I mean, you lose by 10 points to the Steelers early on, but you were in that game. I mean, Herbert got banged up too in that game. You only lost to the Chiefs by 7, and then you lost on a game-winning field goal by the Cardinals, where the whole game you were just kicking field goals. So the Chargers keep things close. They got the Titans this week. I expect them to win that. But, then we move along here. Then you got the Bengals on Sunday Night Football the following week. Then you got the Ravens coming in. Then you got the Falcons in Atlanta. Then you're at the Chiefs, home against the Buccaneers, home against the Broncos. From weeks 11 to 16, we'll see what the Chargers are made of. Because then the end off the year, you got the Patriots and the Raiders, which I think they should win both of those games. So that gets you to 7 wins. I think they win this week. That gets you to 8. I would say they beat the Bucs, so that gets them to 9. Broncos maybe gets you to 10. Yeah, I mean, they could definitely win. They could definitely get to 10 wins, I think. And that should be good enough to get you in. Now, I kept them out of the playoff picture, because I basically had, 3 of the 4 AFC North teams making it. I had the Jets making it. Right now they're on the outside looking in. What else did I have? Well, I had the Dolphins making it, but they're 2-6. Yeah, because I had the Chiefs and the Bills making it. I had the Texans making it out of the South. The Ravens making it, and then I had the Bengals and the Jets. Bengals, Jets, and Dolphins. Right now you got the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Steelers, and I didn't have them in. So, but the Chargers, they're looking good right now. I definitely think that they can make it. Now, when they get in, they are a dangerous team. They are a dangerous team. Because they play good defense, and Justin Herbert is playing well. He's starting to get on the same page with his receivers, like I said. And, they're just airing it out more. I think that's really the other thing, too. And you got a good running game. They got all the components to be a dangerous team when you get to the playoffs. And you got a head coach that's been there before, that's coached in very big games, has coached in Super Bowls, has coached in championship games, has coached. Well, I'm just talking about in the NFL. And then in college, of course, was with Michigan, and they won the national championship. So, and Herbert's gotten a little bit of a taste of playoff experience, although it wasn't great because they choked a big lead. But this team can definitely give, some of these top-tier teams fits when we get to the postseason. Definitely can. I do worry if they, if they're not playing their style of keeping things close and running the football, and, Herbert's going to have to throw a bunch of times, that could be an issue. Herbert can do it. It's just that's not the style that they want to play. But if they could keep games close and the defense could keep things close and they're able to establish the run, yeah, they could be a dangerous team. I'm curious to see how it goes when they go up against some of these offenses that could put up points. Go up against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. How is that going to go? We'll have to wait and see. We have Jay in the chat. He said, hi, biggest football fan. Hey, listen, football's great. But the season's going very fast. Now we're in week 10. So maybe got to slow it down a little bit. No, it's not going to. But I expected, Harbaugh to make an immediate impact. I didn't expect, I'm not expecting the Chargers to make a deep playoff run. I did say they could be in the mix for the playoffs, and they are. They're in a playoff spot right now, so it doesn't surprise me. And you got Justin Herbert there, who is underrated. Is Justin Herbert underrated? I think he's one of the most talented quarterbacks that we have in this league right now. But you got people that critique him, and obviously that playoff loss, was partly on him. But he's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. I wish the Giants had him. So you got the quarterback. The defense is playing well. You got the running game. The offensive line, going and drafting Joe Alt was the right pick. This team is only going to get better as we move along. It really is. So, yeah, I think they're going to be a dangerous team when we get to the playoffs, depending on the matchups. Because right now, let's see. So if the playoffs were to end today, right now they would be. Just give me a sec here. I have to pull up the standings again. So they'd be the 6th seed. So they would be playing. Oh, so they'd be playing the Steelers again. Wow. Now, it'd be a little different because now you got Russ playing. Also, Justin Herbert would be healthier in this game. So, I think that would be. It would be a different game, obviously, with Russ playing instead of Fields. But, again, you have two solid defenses going at it. So it would definitely be, the game would be very tight. That game would definitely get tight if that ends up happening. But I still think the Ravens are going to win the division. But who knows? But let me know what you guys think, though. How dangerous are the Chargers? Do you think this team can make a run? We'll see. But right now, they're in a wild card spot. I mean, the division's basically out of reach for anybody in that division. With the Chiefs undefeated. Even before the year, I mean, we all pretty much had the Chiefs winning that. But let's see if if the Chargers can upset them the next time they play. When they play on Sunday Night Football in Arrowhead later in the year. So, but gotta like what they're doing right now. So, we're gonna take our final break of the show, and then when we come back, we will talk about another game. We'll talk about the Eagles and the Jaguars. We'll talk about some big plays in that game. We'll get into the specifics of it. The Eagles almost blowing that game, but they got the win, so you'll take it. But there's still some things to be concerned about with the Eagles. The Jaguars, I mean, look, their season just it's been a major disappointment. It's been a major disappointment. I think they, like, offensively they've looked a little bit better in recent weeks, but it's proven to just not be enough. This is, unfortunately for them, a lost season, and there's definitely going to be some changes at the end of the year. And we will see what those changes end up being with the head coach, who they could possibly bring in. I mean, nothing's been official yet. They could shock us and bring Doug Peterson back, but it's probably not going to happen. Most likely not going to happen. So we'll get into this game when we come back. So make sure to stick around one final time, and we will talk about this game when we return. So stay tuned. We will be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.